Chapter 11. Reporting. Reporting. Independent auditors report. Reports to those charged with governance. The objectives of the auditor. The objectives of the auditor are to form an opinion on the financial statements based on an evaluation of the conclusions drawn from the audit evidence obtained, and to express clearly that opinion through a written report. The Independent Auditor's Report. Section 1. Title. Purpose. To clearly identify the report as an independent auditor's report. Section 2. Addressee. Purpose. To identify the intended user of the report. Section 3. Auditor's opinion. Purpose. Provides the auditor's conclusion as to whether or not the financial statements give a true and fair view. Section 4. Basis for opinion. Purpose. Provides a description of the professional standards applied during the audit to provide confidence to users that the report can be relied upon. Section 5. Key audit matters. Purpose. To draw attention to any other significant matters of which the users should be aware, to aid their understanding of the entity. Note: this section is only compulsory for listed entities. Section 6. Other information. Purpose. To clarify that management are responsible for the other information. The auditor's opinion does not cover the other information, and the auditor's responsibility is only to read the other information and report in accordance with ISA 720. Section 7. Responsibilities of management and those with governance, financial statements. Purpose. To clarify that management are responsible for preparing the charged financial statements and for the internal controls included to help minimize the expectation gap. Section 8. Auditor's responsibilities for audit of the financial statements. Purpose. To clarify that the auditor is responsible for expressing reasonable assurance as to whether the financial statements give a true and fair view, and express that opinion in the auditor's report. This section also describes the auditor's responsibilities in respect of risk assessment, internal controls, going concern, and accounting policies, included to help minimize the expectation gap. Section 9. Report on other legal and regulatory requirements. Purpose. To highlight any additional reporting responsibilities, if applicable. This may include responsibilities in some jurisdictions to report on the adequacy of accounting records, internal controls over financial reporting, or other information published with the financial statements. Section 10. Name of the engagement. Purpose. To identify the person responsible partner for the auditor's report in case of any queries. Section 11. Signature. Purpose. Shows the engagement partner or firm accountable for the opinion. Section 12. Auditor's address. Purpose. To identify the specific office of the engagement partner in case of any queries. Date, to identify the date up to which the audit work has been performed. Any information that comes to light after this date will not have been considered by the auditor when forming their opinion. The report must be signed and dated after the directors have approved the financial statements. Often the financial statements and the auditor's report are signed on the same day. UK-specific sections. Conclusions relating to going concern. The auditor must state within the auditor's report whether there are any matters to report in relation to the basis of preparation or disclosures of going concern. If there are no matters to report, that is, the auditor is satisfied with the basis of preparation and disclosures relating to going concern, the auditor must make a statement to this effect. Opinions on other matters prescribed by the Companies Act 2006. In the UK, there is a requirement for auditors to report on whether the strategic report and director's report are consistent with the financial statements and prepared in accordance with the applicable legal requirements, that is, Companies Act 2006. All companies must prepare a strategic report unless they are entitled to the small companies exemption. The purpose of the strategic report is to inform members and help them assess how the directors have performed in their duty to promote the success of the company. The strategic report must contain a fair review of the company's business, including a detailed analysis of the performance of the company and the position of the company at the year end, a description of the principal risks and uncertainties facing the company. The strategic report must be approved by the Board of Directors and signed on behalf of the Board by a Director or Secretary. Matters on which we are required to report by exception. Under the Companies Act 2006, the auditor is required to report by exception on certain matters, such as whether they have received all information and explanations for their audit, and whether the director's remuneration has been disclosed as required. In the past, these matters were only mentioned in the auditor's report if problems were encountered, but are now included in the UK auditor's report specifically and will state whether or not there is anything to report. Forming an opinion. Unmodified opinion. Title: Addressee. Opinion. Basis for opinion. Key audit matters. Other information. Responsibilities. Signature, date, address. Unmodified opinion with additional communication. Material uncertainty related to going concern. Emphasis of matter. Other matter. Modified opinion. FS are materially misstated. Material not pervasive. Qualified opinion. Material and pervasive. Adverse opinion. Auditor unable to obtain sufficient appropriate evidence. Material not pervasive. Qualified opinion. Material and pervasive. Disclaimer of opinion. As can be seen from the diagram above, the report can include an unmodified opinion. The financial statements give a true and fair view or present fairly in all material respects, ISA 700. An unmodified opinion, but the report contains additional communication. The financial statements give a true and fair view, but there is additional communication required to bring something to the attention of the user. A modified opinion. The financial statements don't fully give a true and fair view, or the auditor has not obtained sufficient appropriate evidence to make that conclusion. ISA 705. Modifications to the opinion in the independent auditor's report. Unmodified opinion. When the auditor concludes that the financial statements are prepared, in all material respects, in accordance with the applicable financial reporting framework, they issue an unmodified opinion in the auditor's report. This will mean the financial statements adequately disclose the significant accounting policies. The accounting policies selected are consistently applied and appropriate. Accounting estimates made by management are reasonable. Information is relevant, reliable, comparable, and understandable. The financial statements provide adequate disclosures to enable the users to understand the effects of material transactions and events. The terminology used is appropriate.